I hate to upset the obvious positive feel everybody has for the weather this morning by referring to something a little different. As you know, come every winter and into early spring, we have a season where we are visited by one or more storms. And they all get a name. And I'm not sure whether the prettier the name, the worse the storm, or the worse the name, the easier the storm. I don't know, but they all get a name. And they do terrible damage. Take roofs off houses, knock over trees, turn over cars, big stuff. And it's at times like this, in the middle of all of this destruction, you get to see something you don't often see. An overturned tree, and you see its roots. And you see these roots, and you think to yourself, isn't that amazing? How that tree has grown for years and years and years and has been held in the ground and kept steady with these roots going deep, deep, deep into the ground, getting all of the water, getting all of the minerals, getting all of the food that the tree needs in order for that tree to survive. It's something we don't often see, but I have to tell you, I'm overwhelmed by this. Just watching how nature, through the good grace of God, the Creator, has rendered this wonderful structure that makes life possible and can extend a tree's life for centuries. The disciples are looking for their roots. Now, not in the sort of who was your grandfather sort of way. They're looking for their roots to how they get themselves anchored and strengthened and get confidence and hope. And the way they do it is to go to the one that they see so anchored, so assured, and so capable. They go to Jesus. And they don't say, give us a set of roots. They say, teach us how to pray. Teach us how to pray, just the way you pray. Because we've been watching you, and we see what you're capable of. And we see the strength that you get through your prayers. So Jesus teaches them about prayer. He teaches them the very famous prayer, doesn't he? The Lord's Prayer, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Probably the first childhood prayer we ever learn, recited by our parents to us, and we learn it, and we can say it again. Talks about great things, doesn't it? About how great God is. It talks about the need to seek the things we need for ourselves each day, the need to explore being forgiven by God and at the same time to forgive others. It's a powerful prayer. And so Jesus tells them how to pray. And they become rooted through this experience of reaching out to God, and their lives are transformed. You know, in every life, everybody, there are the storms. There are storms in every life. The storms that you hear of, the storms that I'm only too aware of every day as I sit with people through the anxiety of ill health, through the concerns of the financial pressures upon them and their families, as I sit with them each day and hear about worries for the future. What will happen? How will I cope? Who will be there for me? And while all these good people have the resources of good friends who will put their arm around them and will tell them and will strengthen them, these people are shaken. Shaken in their faith, if they have a faith. Shaken in their church life, if they have a church life. Shaken in their own sense of their own confidence about their own capabilities, if they have that confidence. They're shaken by all of this. And it's at times like that you begin to discover where your roots are. As you dig down to find your strength, where are your roots? Well, this morning I want to say to us all, and speak even to my own heart this morning, and say, the roots are there. The strength is there. But we have to draw on that strength in order to find our peace. The strength that comes from none other than Jesus Christ himself, who taught his disciples how to pray. You and I are being called once more into a life of prayer. And to all those who find being able to believe difficult, and to all those who have had their faith shaken, sometimes because they've been let down. Sometimes they felt let down by religious people. Sometimes they felt let down by the church. Sometimes they've been feeling as if they've been let down by the very people they could rely on. Don't get distracted, folks. All of these things, we're doing our best, but God himself is the one we go to, and he will never be found wanting. The disciples. Paul writes to the church in Colossae. He says, get your roots down, everybody. Get your roots down deep. Begin to discover who it is that gives you strength. Don't be shaken. Don't be shaken by the winds of other opinion. Don't be shaken by those who seem to think they know better. Don't be shaken by those who scorn you and slight you and tell you you're silly because you believe in Jesus Christ. No, dig deep into these wonderful areas of God's strength and find his power and love for your life. Hosea has not got an easy message, has he, to convey to the people of Israel. He has to name 3 children. Name 3 children to reflect the desolation that's about to come. It's a story of a whole nation losing its roots, losing its bearings, forgetting who they are, forgetting who gives them strength. And by losing their bearings, all of this tragedy, all of the storm is going to break upon them. But right at the end of the reading, having heard of all the desolation and the pain and the suffering and the grief and the sadness, there is the reassurance that they can come home, that they can return, that life can be changed if only they will change their lives, their attitudes, and reflect upon the wonderful power when they sink their roots deep into the God who loves them. It's easy to wander away. And sometimes the pain that makes us wander is hard to bear. The questions we ask of ourselves and of others, we can't find no easy answers. Why me? Why now? But God's still there. And he's gathering us together, drawing alongside us. He's putting his arm around us. And once that happens, folks, nothing can damage us. We leave ourselves in that great grace of God, in that power of God, in that transforming strength of God every day. Let us dig our roots deep. Let us find our life of prayer. Let us discover who it is we're dealing with, and having discovered him or discovered him again, put our whole trust in him for the journey ahead.